Sairam children, I welcome you all again in computer science class. Children, this is the part 3 from chapter number 9, flow of control. Children, in the last previous video, I have given you one homework. So, homework was you have to make a game, number guessing game. Okay, this homework I have assigned you. I hope you all have even tried once to solve this homework. If you face any problem today, I'm going to give the solution of this particular game. Okay, so let's move to the app. There I will show you the solution. Okay, let's move. Okay children, I have already made this program here. Try to understand. See, inside this we have used nested if. Okay, now first of all we have to decide the winning number. So see, I have written winning underscore number. Now one question arises here, why I have used underscore here. So whenever we decide a variable name, that time we can use underscore, so it is inside the rule of variable. So I have given that winning number is 27 only. Okay, now next line is user input. Next line is user input equal to int. Now why int is written here? Because whatever you will enter in this input function, that is going to be first convert into int. After that it is going to be stored in user underscore input variable. Okay, now next is if condition. So here spaces less, so they are coming in two different lines, but it should be at one line. So next line is if user underscore input. Underscore input means this is a number which is given by the user. So suppose you have given 50 number, it means 50 equal to winning number. Now winning number already I have stored, that is 27. So comparison is between 50 equal to 27. So this condition is going to be false because both are not equal value. So definitely this you won message will not print. So if this particular if statement is false, so it jumps inside the else, because else is an alternative message. Now inside the else, one more if and else statement is there. It means here we are using nested if. Okay, now we know that this number is not equal to our winning number whatever we have given. Okay, so in the else portion, now we have to see that number is too low or too high. It means user input is 50 less than winning number is 27. So again this condition is false because this is the greater number. So too low message will not print. Which message will print? Too high. Okay, now by chance if I press 15 at the user input, so first of all this condition will check 15 equal to 27. So this condition is false, so you want message will not print. So again it jumps to the else portion. So user input 15 is smaller than winning number is 27. So now this condition is true, so too low message will print. Okay, now in the third step, if user input, at the user input I'm giving 27, it means user input is 27 equal to winning number is also 27. So here only condition will true, so you want message will print. Now I have given three different user input in front of you while explaining. Now let's see the practical work. I'm running this program. Guess a number between 1 to 100. Now this interpreter wants to guess a number, so I'm guessing 50. So enter. I'm getting too high. It means my winning number was 27. I am giving 50. So in comparison to 27, 50 is too high. So this message, that is why coming out. Okay, let's try one more time. Now I'm giving, this time I'm giving 15. Let's see what message you will get. I'm giving 15, enter. So I'm getting too low. Okay, so now let's try third time. This time I'm giving exact that number 27. So I'm getting you won message. I hope you are able to do now the same homework with this program. Let's move to the slide. Our last statement was repetition iteration. I told you this statement also called exit condition and test condition. So today we are going to discuss about this sequence selection statement. Both we have completed, so we are going to discuss about the repetition iteration. Repetition means repeat few set of lines. Okay children, now in this, under this, we are going to discuss about for and while loop. We are going to discuss about for and while loop. So inside this for and while loop, one external function is there, that is called range function. So before we start with loops, especially for loop of Python, let's discuss the range function of the Python, which is used with the Python for loop. Okay, the range function of Python, which is used for the Python for loop, the range function of Python generates basically list, which is a special sequence type. A sequence in Python is a succession of values bound together by a single name. Some Python sequence types are string, list, tuple, etc. Okay, so let's see a few examples of this range. Now the basic syntax of this range is range, lower limit, upper limit. Both limits should be integer. For example, range 0 comma 5, it means it will start from 0 and end at 4. So what kind of list will be in front of you? 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, now if I am giving range 5 comma 2, it means your list, your lower limit is 5 and upper limit is 0. So this is not possible, so it will return an empty list. No list is going to be prepared. Now third type of example, we are having range 12 and 18. It means 12 is the lower limit and 18 is the upper limit. So it will start from 12 and goes till 17. So this will prepared in front of you. Okay, now let's see one more example. Now in the previous slide we are having, only lower limit and the upper limit with this range function. Okay, but now we are having one third column also, that is lower limit, upper limit and step value. Step value means how many numbers you want to jump. See, 0, 10, 2, it means 0 is the lower limit, 10 is the upper limit and we have to jump by 2. It means 2, after 2 you have to add 2. 0 plus 2 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8. Now it will reach till 9 only, because it starts from lower limit and goes 1 minus to the upper limit, 0 to 9. So this list will prepared in front of you. Now let's see the next example. Next example is 5, 0, minus 1. Lower limit is 5, upper limit is 0, but it means you have to end till 0 minus 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4, minus 1 is 3, minus 1 is 2, minus 1 is 1. So in this way you can prepare a list. Okay, now one table is there in front of you. With the help of that you are able to make the list. If you are having range 10, it means it will work 0, it will start from 0 and goes till 9. Then it will start at 5, goes till 9 in the second, because 5 is the starting limit and 10 is the end limit. So the end limit always minus 1 we have to do. Then 3 comma 7, start from 3 and at 6 because 7 minus 1 is 6, then 5, 15 and 3. How you have to make the list? Till 14, because 5 is the starting limit, 15 is the end limit, so 1 minus is 14. So 5 plus 3, it gives you 8, 8 plus 3 11, 11 plus 3 is 14, so at 14 it will end. 9, 3 minus 1, 9 is the starting and is 3, and you have to minus 1, so 9 minus 1 is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7, 7 minus 6, 6 minus 1 is 5, 5 minus 1 is 4. So at 3 you have to stop, you no need to take 3 because upper limit we will never take. Okay, 10, 1 minus 2, 10 first, 10 minus 2 is 8, 8 minus 2 is 6, 6 minus 2 is 4, 4 minus 2 is 8. So in this way you are able to have a list when you are having such kind of range function. Okay, now let's see about the operator in and not in. Now these are very interesting operators, children, to check whether a value is contained inside a list. See, if you are writing 3 in is the operator here, so this is a particular list 1 2 3 4. So if you are writing 3 in this, it will give you true answer. Why? Because 3 is already present in this particular list. Now second example is 5 in 1 2 3 4. So 1 2 3 4 is a list. 5 in means whether this 5 is present in this particular list or not. So it is not present, so you will get false answer. Okay, now next statement, 5 not in. Not in means you are saying that 5 is not present in this particular list. So 1 2 3 4 is the list, 5 is not present in that, so you will get true. Now a in trade, trade is a string, a is present in that, so you will get true. ASH, hash, hash is present in this trash, yes, so you will get true answer. Okay, so in this way this operator in and not in basically works. Okay, now next slide is iteration looping statement. So with this we are going to start with iteration looping statement. See children, the iteration means repetition statement allow a certain instructions to be performed repeatedly. Few instruction going to be performed repeatedly until a certain condition is fulfilled. If that condition is fulfilled, the particular set of instruction will repeat again and again. So this iteration statement is called loops and looping statements. Python provides two kinds of loop, one is for and second is while. So Python provide two kinds of loops, that is for and while loop, to represent two categories of loops, which are counting loops and second is conditional loops. Counting loops, children, the loops that repeat certain number of times. Okay, and conditional loops are those loops that repeat until a certain thing happen. They keep repeating as long as some condition is true. Python's while loop is a conditional loop and for loop is the counting loop. So today we are going to discuss with only for loop. In the next video I will discuss with your while loop. Okay, so let's see what is for loop. For loop of Python is designed to process items of any sequence such as list or a string one by one. So what is the syntax of that? For, write variable in, you have to use in, then sequence, then if this condition is satisfied, this set of instruction is going to be performed. For example, a in 147, suppose a value is 4, so 4 in is present in this particular list, so print a. Okay, print a, it means print 4. Or next is 4 into 4 because a is written two times. Okay, so these type of programs comes in the category of for loop. Now second is for ch in calm. Now a is a variable ch, so now you are having CALM, so ch in means first of all c will print, in the next line a will print, in the next line l is print, and in the next line m is going to be print. Now Next example, for v in 1 2 3. Now in v list you are having 1 2 and 3. So first of all 1 will come, 1 is going to print 3 times, you will get 1. Then second is 2, 2 going to be print 3 times, you will get 8. Third is 3, 3 is going to be multiplied 3 times, you will get 81. So it means whatever present in this list, it goes inside this print function one by one. Okay, this is called for loop, in which print function is repeating as the number present in the list. Okay, now next example, program to print a table of 5. Okay, so you have to print a table of 5. Now so you can print any table. So here is one example is given, that is table of 5 only. So num equal to 5. So a in range 1 11. So 1 11 means it will start from 1 till 10 only, because we always minus 1 to the upper limit. Now print num is 5. Now something in the quotes, so that will print as it is. A is 1. First of all a is 1, so 1 equal to num is 5. 5 multiplied by 1 is 5, so 5 into 5 is 5, you will get 5 here. Okay, you will get 5 here. This particular print statement print 1 to 10, it means 10 times this statement repeat. Now second time a value will be 2. Okay, when step value is not given, it is automatically increased by 1. So this time num is 5 multiply a is 2 into 5 into 2 is 10. So in this way your 5 table going to be print. Now next program to print sum of natural number between 1 to 7. So what we need 1 to 7 numbers, and we need to add each number. Okay, like for example, first number is 1, second is 2, so this 2 is going to be add with this 1 only. Third number is 3, that is also going to add with this. Fourth number is 4, it is also going to be add with this. Then 5, then 6, then 7. So we need the sum of all these numbers together. Okay, so for that, suppose we need one extra variable, so I'm taking that variable sum equal to 0. Okay, so this variable is going to be collect the sum of each and every number which comes according to the requirement. So for n in range 1 comma 8, so we need 1 to 7 number, so that is why we have taken 8, because already upper limit we subtract by 1. Okay, so when we are writing n in range 1 to 8, so this n first take 1, then this n take 2 3 4 5 6 7. In this way one by one each number is going to be take. Now in the next statement, after that, the intended statement, you are having sum plus equal to n. Now what is the meaning of this? It means sum, whatever sum is there, equal to sum plus n. Now sum is 0 initially, n is 1, so 0 plus 1 is 1. Now in the next iteration sum is 1, so after that n is 2. Okay, so this 2 1 plus 2 then after that next iteration will 3, so 3 plus 4. In this way it will work. Okay, now the next is sum. In above program every line show the actual position of your addition, but in this you just want the addition at the end. So in that condition you have to write this print statement outside the for, and in this you have to write this print function inside the for. Okay, now let me show you this particular program in the app so that I will make you more clear about these two programs. Okay, let's move to the app. Now see children, again I'm repeating this program. We need to print the sum of natural number between 1 to 7 and print the message after every step. Suppose, again I'm repeating, n in range 1 comma 8. It means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This is the list for n. One time n going to take 1, then second round n is 2, third time n is 3, fourth time n is 4, fifth time n is 5, sixth time n is 6, seventh time n is 7. Okay, now so when n is 1, so it will enter inside this, that is sum is equal to sum plus n. Sum is 0, n is 1 here. Now sum value is 1. Okay, now this message is just after the sum, so it will show you sum of full message, then is sum is 1. Okay, after that again it move back to the for. Now this time n is 2, so sum is 1 this time instead of 1, so it will give you sum equal to 1 plus n is 2. So now sum is 3, so again it will show this message and show sum equal to 3. It means we have written this print function inside this for. So number of time this for loop work, same number of time this print message is going to be print and show the current position of sum, because every step some position is different, because initially some value is 0, next time some value is 1, another next time some value will be 3, in the next line some value is something else. So every position some value is going to be shown in front of you. See how, see some value is 1 this time, then 3, then 6. So each and every step is going to be shown just because we have written this print function inside the for. See this indentation. Now let me show you one result here. So what you have to do, you have to remove this indentation. Okay, you have to remove this indentation. How? You can just shift this print function outside the for. Children, what I have done, I have used cross button. So instead of writing this print function just after, just below the sum, like this, I have written like this, sum this. So it means this function is now outside the for. It means how it work now. So your list is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, just because of this line. Okay, now sum is 0 plus 1 1. Now from here only it will move back. So it means this for loop runs 7 times. After running 7 times, your sum value become 28. So after that, your for loop is going to be finished. Now your cursor is outside the for. After that, this print function is going to be print. After that, it will print like sum of natural number is 28. So in one line, it will show you output. See the result. See. So this is just a work of writing print function, where you are writing print function. If you are writing print function inside the for loop, so that print function work as number of time as your for loop is going to be work. If your for loop is working 7 times, your print function print 7 times. If you are writing your print function outside the for, it will print 1 time, because for that print function line is a single statement. Okay children, I hope you are getting my point. So with this I'm ending this video. Much for attending. So in the next video I will come with the while loop. So I will show you what is the difference between for and while, and we will discuss few more questions based on for. Okay, so thank you so much. Sai Ram.